Yeah, Rollins. Lynn Turner, get your kit on. My eyes, my eyes. Like, I don't read them, the comments. Evening all, so to speak. Let's... John Honeyford. Rather than go through a whole load of them, because a lot of people waiting, a lot of people looking forward to whatever I'm going to talk about this evening, and it's a bit warm. It's a bit warm. The good news is that it's nearly spring. You think I'm joking? My mum always used to say that my birthday, 27th of January, was... Hang on, what's going on here? It was always an hour later. We had an hour more light at the time of my birthday. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to take a sip of the usual. Did tell you on Wednesday that my dealer had come up trumps. I've now got at least a year's supply of hibiscus. Depends how quickly I drink it, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Andrew James, you been on the sherry, cooking sherry? I've seen a monkey once while I was visiting a zoo. He was carrying a bunch of bananas and a tin opener. I said to him, "You don't need a tin opener to open them." He said, "I know, it's for the custard." That's actually quite funny. Well done, Andrew. Andy Turner says, "Hello, you sexy lot. How is everyone on? Just walk me dogs with here, who must be listening." Oh, it's the commas, Andy. Here, who must be listened to, getting ready for the footy, another loss coming. Also, my Android phone update this week, and it dumped loads. Look, Sunderland drew 1-1 today. Couldn't hit a cow's backside with a banjo, those boys. Andy Turner, of course, new apps on one that concerned me was the Google's Pixel personal safety app. It was designed to bring help when you're in danger or to keep track of your location and situation. Quite. Do you know there's a load more cars nowadays getting this? If your airbags go off or you're in a crash or something, they ping to varying manufacturers and go, "Oh, the car's in trouble. It's in France or Germany or England. It's had a crash." So then it goes to a central source, and the central source ring the Rozzers and go, "It's been a crash." They know exactly where you are. Everything, man. I mean, it's not like they don't. And to... Oh, Andy's done another one. When you feel vulnerable. Originally a Google Pixel exclusive, the personal safety app is now compatible with several Android phones. Don't know if I like that. I've turned it off. Just can't remove. And Andy says, "Oh, yeah. Hiya, big lad." Andy, good to know you're in the body of the Kirk. Welcome to the Church of the Battenberg. Yeah, wrong'uns. And I must say, if anybody's a newbie here tonight, and it's the first time that they've been to the channel or alive or any of the videos, then please say so in the chat, because I'll welcome you. As the Reverend Battenberg, Ian Poulton, I think it was, the golfer. Poulter. Sorry, Ian. He's a newbie tonight, and he said we've all got to be gentle with him. Doesn't he know this place is full of wrong'uns? Wrong'uns, Ian. Ian Poulton, I am new. Oh, do you squeak much, Ian? Ian Poulton Knight. Ah, there you go. Welcome, Ian. Lovely to have you, and thank you for your very kind words earlier in the chat. Try to keep up with it, but certainly for the first 5 minutes to allow everyone to get their feet under the pew in the Kirk of the Battenberg. Sean, your plant looks like it's flicking the V's. What do you mean? Is it? Hang on, let's have a look. Is it flicking the... Yeah, possibly. Hang on. Let's give it a bit of TLC. John Honeyford's in the church this evening. Evening, John. Just before I go watch the footy, lest I forget later, can you dig up some dirt on Katie Hopkins, Adrian? I found her attitude totally disgusting after Derek. Well, his name's not the same as Kate's, is it? She's Kate Garraway. He's Derek. Andrew James, John, Katie is not worth the internet bandwidth. She's paid to be controversial. She bottled it in The Apprentice all those years ago. She couldn't hack it. And, well, she's got a good knowledge of the law. I'll give Katie that, because when there was all this furore around the BBC presenter, she named Jeremy Vine and then took it down really quickly. Brilliant. Got a working knowledge of the law. Hey, Katie. Retro on his bike's something wrong with Hopkins. Although, I am going to talk about Kate Garraway this evening because, well, Derek Draper, thank you, Terry Wookfit. I just would love to know your take on this whole thing. Because for me, I'll explain in a moment. Straight talking, I'll explain in a moment. So tonight we're going to talk about Kate Garraway, Derek Draper. We're going to talk about XL Bullies after the Clapham attack. What's your take? And we can talk about the case simply because no one's been arrested, no one's been charged. And for any other YouTubers, at the point, for safety reasons, unless you know what you're talking about, then the minute that somebody's been arrested, don't talk about it. Sub judice. The old Bovrel's in. I hope the missus knows. You wrong'uns. Evening, Theo Bovrel. Retro on his bikes is in the body of the Kirk this evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, Retro. GB Patriot. Anything on Belfield? Well, you never know. I was working on something the other day. Shan't tell you any more than that. But I am the motherlode. It's as simple as that. But I will tell you, I'm not a one-trick pony. I want to talk about, I had this experience on Friday around Deliveroo. Anybody else on Friday? All the delivery people for, I think it was Deliveroo and Uber Eats, they all went on strike nationwide. That's never been covered in the press. Have you seen anything about that? No, they were all on strike. Nearly starved to death. Lynn Turner at Andy Turner. It is currently 18, headed to a nice 22 today, just pleasant. Oh, Lily, oh, of course, yeah, of course. And Annie Watt, good to see you in the body of the Kirk, Annie. Hi, Adrian, looking forward to this. Oh, yeah, wrongin'. Right, should we get stuck in? Enough of this pleasantries. Hang on, what's Tailblock Tracy up to? Is she flirting again tonight? Who's been spreading rumours about me? Well, I would like you all to know they're true. And Scofi's not the father. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, we ran a poll the other day just to see where you are with the channel, because it's been around for like 15 months or so, which is quite a while. And I just want to bring some more of my so-called skills from my 40 years in radio, commercial radio and BBC. And as a little aside, and we might talk about the Germans and the French, mais oui, because the farmers are not happy. They're not happy. Right, you look and flirt. I've got stuff to do. I've got work to do. This is me job. A joke. So I want to tell you the housekeeping, because we've had 5 minutes. Let everybody get their feet under the table. The pew. Just so long as you're not disturbing the people in the pews in front. The next live, Wednesday, 7th of February. That's this coming Wednesday. So it's Sunday, Wednesday, 8 p.m. We'll talk about the poll in a moment. Welcome to Ian. John Honeyford says, too true, Andrew, but swigging cheap red plonk and being totally obnoxious should not be rewarded. What on earth are you saying, John? To Mr. John Up, oh, good evening, Adrian. Yeah, wrongin'. And to all in the body of the Kirk this evening, Andrew James is back on it with John Honeyford. When John Schneider has spoken openly about widowhood and wrote letters to his late wife on social media, John is one of the few actors who didn't sell his soul to Hollywood. Oh, Hollyweird. Andy Sinsky, evening all, we gather together again for another sermon. Andy, good to know you're here. Mr. John Up, it's hard to believe that it's 41 years ago today that the legendary Karen Carpenter left us just aged 32. Is that £32? Not a voice like hers again. I mean, you can go on X Factor and you can, Britain's Got No Talent and see all of that. It's very rare that a voice comes through that you think, ooh, I say. Karen just had one of the best voices ever. I will say I am very proud, very, very proud that on X, formerly known as Twitter. So every time we call X, we have to say formerly known as Twitter. Why do we do that? It's X now, seemingly. And the other day I was just kind of, waxing lyrical. I've been on commercial radio over 40 years. And I've been playing a lady called Anita Baker, who, in my very humble opinion, along with Karen Carpenter, has one of the greatest voices ever. Aretha. Sissy Houston had a better voice than Whitney. Whitney's mum, Sissy. Oh, what a voice. What a set of pipes. But, Anita Baker, still to this day, makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end whenever I hear some of her music. And I just put on X, I've been playing Anita Baker for 40 years. I have a weekly radio show on Zetland FM, and I don't know why I was pointing up there because it doesn't exist up there. But on Zetland FM in the Northeast, I do a weekly soul dance disco thang, and I was going to play "You Bring Me Joy" by Anita Baker, which is just stunning. And she replied. Anita Baker replied. Now, that's the thing that I love about social media. There's absolutely no way that I would get anywhere near any of my heroes. And yet Anita Baker replied to one of my tweets. You can go and find it at Adrian Allen. My real name, my full name, no middle name. Could never be a professional cricketer. At Adrian Allen. You can go look for yourself. Gary Chabot. You saw Anita Baker on a cruise. She weren't singing on a cruise, Gary. Behave. Oh, she might have been, catching the rays, but no, Anita Baker is just simply one of the greatest voices that's ever been. If you're watching, Anita, should we do an interview? Please. No, me manners. Leighton, unrehearsed, live. I'm actually here at the beginning after being late since GT. What's GT stand for, Leighton? Andrew James, AA, holding his big cup yet? Sustenance. And still got me settings wrong. I'm 89 years old, sometimes not able to figure things out. Lionel, I feel your pain all the time, mate, every day. Anybody that's been with this channel for any length of time knows that it was almost a technical issue every single time. So I feel your pain, Lionel. Tarblock Tracy, Little Bird tells me the Macam Geordie has a special guest tonight. Who's that then? You're wrong. And Andrew James. James Bolam. No, great actor though. Proper actor. Jilly B62. Evening, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. Evening, Jilly. You wrongin'. And Roy Gordon. Hello, Adrian. Looking forward to tonight's show with possibly... Oh, spreading rumours. Hang on. Tower Block Tracy's obviously been on the cooking sherry. Be careful. She's lively. Mr. John, sounds interesting. Tower Block Tracy, good evening to you. I will say, because we're going to get into Kate Garraway in a second, my reading at the moment is, I bought this. Now, I was going to buy it before I went to Davos. This is not my first reading. This is my second book I'm going to read. But there's some interesting bits and pieces in there. And I see in the Mail on Sunday some very interesting bits and pieces in there. I see in the Mail on Sunday that Ingrid Seward, who's always talking about the Royals, she's got a book out. They're serialising it. I'm going to have to buy another one. But as of tomorrow, this is going to be my reading for the week. Neil Samworth. Maybe, if I keep my fingers crossed and the wind blows in the right direction, we might get Sam Samworth on the show at some point. So that's my reading. There's no guests on this evening. I will definitely let you know if there's any guests coming on the lives with me. So I want to sort of get into Kate Garraway, so to speak. Now listen, I get the telly game, I get the radio game, I get the showbiz game. I get it. But Kate Garraway? Now, I don't know about you, if you've ever been married or you've ever had a love of your life that sadly has shuffled off this mortal coil. I'm just asking you whether you could go back to work a couple of days after their funeral. I know that it was 4 weeks. Nobody says why. Now, normally, you're buried within 7 days. If you're a Christian, if you're Muslim, or Jewish, it's normally within 24 hours. But Christian, it's normally within a week. So why has it taken them 4 weeks to bury Derek Draper? Nobody said, did they? Now, normally, if it's longer than a week, you know what's happened, don't you? It's gone off to people who were saying, right, we just need to have a look at this, make sure that it wasn't, there's not been any untoward. There's not been, so the coroner has a look at it. And normally, within a month or so, yeah. So, GB Patriot, yes, Derek Draper was best buddies with Blair and Mandelson and the whole Labour cabal. And he was a bit of a spin doctor, I understand. Post-mortem. Rich, I don't know, but that's never been covered. That's never been said in any of the newspapers that there's been a post-mortem. Why is that? We were told in the press it was the Charlie 19. Or was it the jibber jabber? So nobody's really. Oh, was it because they put him on the oxygen thing, tent thing, respirator? Struggling tonight. Nobody has said anything. Now, obviously, he was a very poorly boy. Went away to South America somewhere, came back, and was very, very poorly. And I just, so that I don't seem to be insensitive to things, because I've had very close people shuffle off, and I've been distraught. And like when my mum passed, I took a while. I took 4 or 5 weeks off because I was distraught. My dad couldn't care less, but my mum, you only get one mum. You always know who your mum is. You never know who your dad is. So, do you know, Ian Poulton Knight, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Because Ian's just said what I'm sure a lot of people are thinking. Kate Garraway, I'm sick of her. So that was the point I was going to get to. Without being insensitive to the current situation, she's on the telly in the morning. I get it. I get showbiz. I know what they're all up to. Most of them. Even Scove, I knew since the mid-80s. So she's on the telly in the morning and they're going to interview her. And I get it because they think the whole country is in sympathy with Kate Garraway. They think, that's, GMB, which I thought was a union, Good Morning Britain, they think that everyone is on Kate Garraway's side. Now, it's not easy and it's not a great situation, loving someone that you love, losing someone that you love dearly. And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to be insensitive, but please just Foxtrot Oscar. Go and grieve in private. There is a reason why people need to grieve. There is a very well-known psychological reason. You have to grieve. Don't bottle those emotions up. Please grieve for the one that you love. Don't 3 days after the funeral, hello, I'm on ITV. And ITV, GMB, the union, they're running a promo. They're running a promo for Kate Garraway's appearance. It is beyond me. It is beyond my comprehension. And, I'm not a daft lad all day. Most of it, but not all day. Oh, Kate, I can't repeat that. You're utter wrong. GMB Patriot, not watched GMB in years. It's extremely woke crap. I know. Me neither. I've not. Last time I watched Breakfast TV, Frank Boff was getting a whipping. If you remember. And no, I didn't make donuts like Fanny's. The Jacobite. I didn't watch TV news anymore, so I must have missed most of the Garraway coverage. Was it everywhere then? The Jacobite. Everywhere, all day, every day. And, I mean, she must have... Because I know that Derek was the writer, so I don't know whether he was writing the books and she was just the face for the books. But she's going to have a book out a week for the next 25 years, man. And it's... So in the morning, she's on Breakfast Day TV. And then Nigel Green, brilliant. GMTV, give me the Valium. Give me the G. Oh, blimey, far too slow, but brilliant, Nigel, love that. And then they're going to promo, I'm sure, after she's been on tomorrow explaining how she feels, and then she's back on the telly on Thursday, and then back on the telly on Friday. Is she on some kind of ITV bonus scheme that the more figures she brings in, the more viewers she brings in, she gets a bonus? I mean, it is the cutthroat world of telly. Cutthroat. 24 hours is a long time in telly, but it's making her come across as stone-hearted. And can I ask, I mean, this is for the ladies of the Kirk. When, I hope you're not in a similar situation or have been in a similar situation to Kate Garraway. As I say, without seeming insensitive, it's an awful thing to go through. Absolutely horrendous and awful. But I think the country's watching on going, what? So she's wearing his watch to the funeral. I get that. Now you tell me if you think this is insensitive, but she's wearing his engagement ring and wedding ring. Why does she need to wear his watch? There's a gag in there somewhere, but I'm not going to do it because you will have a go at me. And Tailblock Tracy says, furthermore, her Instagram, where she published Derek's death, is monetized. So it comes across as she's being stone-hearted. She's being showbiz. She's making sure that she's working it. And look, there was I won't give any names for the moment, but there was an ITV name, quite a big name at the time, came to work at this radio station that I was running in London. I'm not going to identify it. You might know, but I'm not going to identify it. And its dog started laying cable in the corridor. And somebody said to me, Adrian, the dog's shit in the corridor. I was like, what? It's dropped the kids off. Yeah. So I went out, and there's this lovely little present sitting there in a brand new office suite in the corridor. And I went into the studio and went, oi, your dog has just left a present. I suggest you get out there and clean it up. And she says, oh, I'm on the radio. Can you not do it for me? And I'm like, I'm not shoveling up your dog's shite. But and I just thought, I've got the staff giving me George. I've got her going, yeah. I just thought, I'll be quicker. So, quick bit of shoveling. And I just thought, this is what my life has come to. I'm shoveling dog shite on behalf of somebody who hasn't got 2 IQ points to rub together. She didn't have any figures either, as in listens. So, these telly people, they live in this bubble where they think they're special and they think they're talented. I'm not suggesting this is Kate Garraway. I'm just talking in general terms before a lawyer start making notes. I'm just saying that I get it all. I get it. One day I'll tell you the story about me nearly being on Channel 5 doing the daily talk show that Jeremy Vine's currently doing. And look, Derek's he's not cold in his grave yet. And she's back on the telly. And then she's back on Thursday and back on Friday. They're milking this for everything they can. Can you tell me in the comments, where is her grieving? Where is it? I mean, I looked at some of the photographs. A mascara didn't run or anything. No puffy eyes. No. I mean, is it because it's been sort of 4 weeks? It's been a month. And she's done her grieving in private? Because called me old-fashioned. Where I lived, where I was brought up, if somebody passed away, the curtains would be drawn for at least 2 weeks. In Judaism, you sit shiva for a week. And most people that I know with any decency, don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight. It's very interesting. So we're so grieving, and ITV are releasing a trailer ahead of her return. Tower Block Tracy, did anybody just see an advert mid live stream? Yeah, there's something weird going on tonight. That's why I lost 30 viewers in like a millisecond. Don't know what's going on there. Oh, blimey, and it jumps back up again. I swear to goodness that YouTube are making sure that there's not bots on these live streams and some of the videos. So when I post a video, I lose 1 or 2 subs immediately. And I reckon it's just YouTube checking with their algorithm. So, Kate Garraway, I really, 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 really hope that there is some decency that is returned to ITV. Don't milk it for viewers. I mean, that's just tawdry. That's just uncalled for. I know it's all about the Benjamins. I know it's all about the figures. I know it's all about the viewers. But please, please, please. I'm not going to be watching. I don't want to know. Mind you, the Sun will have it on the front page on Tuesday. Have you noticed how the Sun is now reporting showbiz news? It's not doing any hard news on the front page. Its main story, its main lead is now not hard news. Showbiz, darling. Should we talk about this Clapham attack that happened over the weekend? Because there's 2 things that we really need to have an adult conversation about. We really need to get into the granular detail. Global Gazette TV, I've done a video on Garraway the Grifter. Lovely, lovely. Marie had 2 in Egyptian. I do hope you're talking adverts, Marie. Stuart, I think she's mad going back so soon. It would take me weeks to be able to face people. I agree with you, Stuart. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why there's this urgency to get back on the telly. Now, I know she's not been on the telly since about December the 8th or so. And I know you've got to get back on your horse. If you fall off a horse, you've got to get straight back on, as much as you might not like it. I just think it's a little hasty. I just think do your grieving in private, and then when you're ready, come back to the public domain. Too soon, Kate. Too soon. And ITV? Ooh, naughty. Naughty. Especially putting a promo on. I mean, how we're... we're all grown-ups. We all understand a bit about life. GB Patriot. So let's get into this Clapham attack over the weekend. And we'll do it in an adult and measured way. Because I do believe that there is an element of the reportage, the newspapers, kind of whipping it up a bit. But I want to talk about us being, me and you, being taken for mugs. Being taken the absolute rise out of. And we know what the deal is now. So, Rich Boy, sitting in number 10, he can foxtrot Oscar. You can't believe a single thing that comes out of that man's mouth. How can you tell when a politician's lying? His bloody lips move. And we'll stop the boats, we'll stop the boats. Well, we've stopped the boats. No, you bloody haven't. You've done nothing about it. And now the whole country is looking at you and your party. You are lucky if you will get 100 MP seats. You are going to be lucky if the Tory party are not so obliterated at the next general election that you won't get back to being any semblance of a political party until maybe 2040. And I'll be long gone. Now, we had the Liberals at one point. I mean, Churchill was a Liberal, turned the guns on his own people, that's me and you, and then became a Conservative, and then Prime Minister and won the war, seemingly. So, the XL bullies, hang on, what's Julie just said? Where's me? Oh, advert. Ugh. Right. I'll sort that and have a word. Let me see if I can do that. 2 Battenberg ads and 1 for poo. Very funny, Sean. Very funny. Let's. I think you've all been. Yes, we got the Marie. She's had 2 Egyptians. Sorry, had 2 in Egyptian adverts. Stuart, I think she's going mad. Back so soon. Julie Taylor. Julie Taylor. I'm wearing stockings and heels for my husband. So early in the evening. I'm surprised you have the time. Unless you're obviously typing with your toes. Andrew James, celebrities remind me of it. MPs who know, don't. There is civilization away from London. Oh, the London bubble. They've got no clue. No idea what Clapham is in London. It's not too far from the Houses of Parliament. Hayden, if you run an ad blocker, then it could slow down your PC. Right. Rich, XL bully dogs. That's current news. Yes, it is, but it's not on the front page of the Sun today. The Sunday Sun. Hang on. I've got it here. I was mentioning the Sun. Any Scousers watching this evening, then turn away. So I'm just going to give you the front page of the Sun. There you go. If you want the proof. Brave Kate back. Brave Kate. Should have taken some time to grieve for her husband. I mean, is that news? Somebody dressed in their lingerie? Okay. Am I? Look, I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you a question, because maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I do love class. Not as in the class system, but look, we know what a woman looks like. We know what a man looks like. We know what a man has and hasn't, and we know what a woman has and hasn't. Don't get me into that argument. And seeing women in their lingerie out in public it's no class, man. Absolutely zero class. Now there's Julie, got her heels and her stockings on for a hubby. Brilliant. It's not going to distract us much. But when they're walking out of restaurants looking like they've got ready for bed hours ago, no. I mean, if there's a lucky guy, good on him. But I don't want to see that on the front of my newspapers. I mean, I know I've got to buy them because I do this. But anyway, stop distracting me. Now, I want to talk about these XL bullies because I couldn't find my script from, script notes from a little while ago that I did on the live. And I talked about the timeline between last October to February the 1st. Now, this is from the Mail on Sunday that I bought and Mail Online. And I got the reportage from some trusted sources on X. And the guy, the dog owner of these 2 dogs, because I'm going to qualify that the XL bully is not actually a breed. The American XL is not a breed, according to my sources, and I will give you those details in just a little while. But the guy that owned these 2 dogs, seemingly there was 8 in the house, and the lady that was mauled to death, the 68-year-old grandmother that was mauled to death, had gone to see her grandson, and the grandson was the son of the dog owners. Her daughter, the mum of the little lad, passed away a couple of years ago, and that was her daughter. And the little lad was the son of the breeder. Happened in Jaywick Sands. The press and the police are saying that the breed of dogs has not been confirmed, but the family have said that they were XL bullies. Now, if there's no such thing as an XL bully, that's just what we're calling them. That's what we're being conditioned to call them. Now, the dogs, the press are not really going anywhere near this because they don't really want to. Because I've told you before that armed police officers have the permissions to euthanize dogs on site. Because if a dog or dogs are running feral or wild or out of control, they are a threat not only to themselves, but to others, and if they're within a house, to those within. And the armed police officers have the right in law to euthanize or euthanize those dogs. And I believe that's what they did, because those dogs that attacked this, that mauled this old lady to death, were unregistered. So some people have been calling for the man that owned the dogs to be given certain sentences in their eyes and in their view, because I think the country, again, is at the end of its tether. Those people that sit in the Pink Palace and do absolutely naff all for their money, except tell us lies, are not doing anything about this. Rich Boy said, we're doing this. And he set it out. He set the timetable. We'll put them on the dangerous dogs list. And what's that? What's happened to that? Nothing. Nothing. So Rich Boy, he's done in politics. The minute we have a general election, he's gone. Gone. He might end up back in the House of Lords. On his soir qui mal y pense. But I'm telling you, Boy's done. He knows that. But he's either going to do one of two things. I still think it's a May general election. I think he'll go to the country really quickly, where people have not really made up their minds. And they'll be like, we'll give you 1p off your national insurance. We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. And then go to the country quickly. He'll announce it within a month. So I hear regular dog attacks for months and months and months, and nothing has been done. So what they do, these politicians, they say one thing just to appease you and I, and we think, oh, brilliant. It's like we're in some kind of abusive relationship with these people. They tell us one thing. They tell us that we're going to do this. We're going to do this, right? This is how we're setting it out. This is what we're going to do. And we go, whew. And then they don't do it. They just lie. So let's get to, we've talked about the XL bullies. Let's talk about the Clapham attack, which is where I think we need to have a very adult conversation. None of this, we'll stop the boats, we'll stop the boats, we'll stop the boats. They haven't. They have no intention of. Remember, Rich Boy gave Macron £500 million of your money. Now, I know you're not paying that much tax, but it's your money. Collectively, it's ours. And he gave Macron 500 million. What did he give him that money for? Well, seemingly, to stop the boats. And they haven't. And they didn't. And Macron's used it elsewhere to try and stem them from coming across from Italy into France and over here. And you know what? I think this is wonderful. I think this is wonderful. We have Muslims coming across the channel into this country being found guilty of sexual assault in this country and then finding Christianity. Do you know that there's one particular church that's converting Muslims to Christians at the rate of 20 a week? Baptizing them Christians. They've worked it out that we're mugs. They've worked it out, however many, I mean, don't talk about America. Tens of millions have come up through the Mexican border. But all these soap dodgers that have come across from France, they know we're mugs. There's nothing we can do about it. They're coming across here, getting mobile phones, getting 5-star hotel, getting money, getting this, getting that, and getting free NHS treatment. I haven't got that in Afghanistan. I mean, the Americans tried to flatten the Tora Bora mountain range just to find Osama bin Laden when we all knew where he was. Well, do you know these these army officers in America who said that, oh yeah, killed Osama bin Laden, and then we chucked him off the side of a boat. He's dead. This is the country that assassinated their own president. So don't trust a word that can come out of any of their mouths, because I don't. Osama bin Laden, oh, he was found. He was one of the CIA's most valued operatives. At one point, they built the tunnels and the caves in the Tora Bora mountain range, but you know why they flattened the B-52s? The B-52s flattened the Tora Bora mountain range. Because George W. had Vladimir Putin to his ranch 4 days after 9/11, and they agreed the American and Russian pipeline from the Caspian Sea down through Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and the Tora Bora mountain range in Afghanistan to a warm water port in Pakistan. It's all about the oil. And no, we've got Osama. Keep telling you this. They think we're idiots. So why would George W. have Putin at his ranch in Texas 4 days after 9/11? And they built the pipeline. I mean, they were going to build a pipeline from the Black Sea through north of Yugoslavia into Germany to power Germany's economy. Hasn't happened. Remember Slobodan Milosevic? What do you mean, no? Slobodan Milosevic, him. They wanted to build a pipeline from the Black Sea through the north of Yugoslavia, through Europe, to power Germany's economy. And what happened? Slobodan said, lads, what you doing? I run Yugoslavia, Foxtrot Oscar. And the Americans went, Slobodan, mate, you're going to jail. No, I'm not. I run Yugoslavia. You think you do? Went in jail. Got him in jail. Had a heart attack in jail. Dead men can't lie. Dead men can't speak. Dead men can't block pipelines, oil pipelines out of the Black Sea. And that has been around for 20 years. So, the power of the Christian church. Should we talk about the Catholics first? The power of the Catholic Church. It facilitated getting the Nazis out of Germany via Italy into South America. I didn't know that. Ask the Pope. I'm sure he knows. Find a book called Grey Wolf, all about Hitler. Died in South America. Not in a bunker, behave. So, the Christian church, the one in Rome's got a lot to answer for, and the Christian church in this country, they're baptising 20 a week, 20 Muslims a week. I mean, I'd love to know what the Muslim faith thinks about that, the people coming over here to convert. The power of the Christian church. These men are fleeing persecution just so they can become Christian. That's the power. That's the wonder of the United Kingdom, the great British Isles. You can flee persecution, come here, become Christian, become one of us. Now, Met Police, nobody's been arrested, nobody's been charged over this Clapham attack. But the Met have now stuck out a £20,000 reward, because seemingly he's disappeared off the face of the earth. Now, I know how much CCTV is in London and on the Tube network and on the rail network. I know. And I know the Met can't find him. Now, it's on the Met. It's not on BTP, because the attack didn't happen on BTP's ground. It happened on Met ground. Sorry, Metropolitan Police Service, MPS, if you wish. So there's 20 large ones, if anybody can give us information that leads to the arrest of the Clapham attacker. Now, without seeming to be facetious, and I don't mean to, I in all seriousness, there's a lady, I have to salute the courage of a lady in her 50s working in the city who didn't hesitate when she heard screams in her Clapham street and tackled the scum-sucking pond life, as he threw the 3-year-old, because it was a 31-year-old woman and an 8 and a 3-year-old, as he threw the 3-year-old to the ground, this lady in her 50s came to their assistance and rescue. Now, the price she's paid, according to her city worker partner in the Sunday Times today, is heavy. Obviously, this lady didn't realise, nor would anybody, that the victims were covered in a corrosive chemical. Now, her partner in the Sunday Times today has said that she may have permanent damage to her eyes as she has burned both eyeballs, quote, and has been seeing specialists every day. I think the people writing for the Sunday Times may have wanted to reversion that particular sentence. What, in my view, is dreadful is that this man will not pay the price for his shocking, violent actions. Now, I don't know where he's got to. There's a couple of options for him. Just thinking it through in London. I mean, the network is anywhere. You can disappear, except the CCTV everywhere. It will be being checked forensically. But they know that he went to Victoria. Now, Victoria is both tube and rail. Now, this man, guilty of a sexual assault in this country, won't be returned to Afghanistan. They've had a couple of chances to return him, but no, they decided not to. If you think about it, if he is caught and sentenced, he'll receive 3 meals a day for the next 25 years in a warm cell at our expense. So we have, they're saying now that the 31-year-old female is comfortable, but has life-changing injuries. The 2 children, their injuries are not as severe as at first thought. But this scum-sucking pond life believed that it was within his rights. And he was known to the female. That was the initial report. He was known to the female. As a little aside, do you know there's been a knife attack in Paris today? I thought as much. Not reported, is it? They're not reporting it now. Remember a little while ago, there was a guy running around with a knife trying to stab people outside of Paris? Attack today. I think he's knifed a couple of people. Now, the adult part of this conversation that you and I need to get to, I know there's critical thinkers that join this channel on a Sunday and a Wednesday at 8 p.m. that leave comments, and I welcome every single comment. I'm going to read some of them out in a moment. But I think the common sense response to all of this, whether it be the boat people, whether it be those attacking people on our soil, or those that are going and seemingly integrating themselves within our communities and society. Why can't we say no? Now, that's not a rhetorical question. I know that you are saying no, but those that we are gifting the ability to lead us, they're not actually leaders, they're corrupt. They don't give a flying, they're corrupt. You can joke about giving the missus Rohypnol, or you can call Stockton shitty, and nothing ever happens. You can fuck a pig, and you get extra special duties from the Prime Minister. You can go all over the world doing deals, dodgy Dave, Trotter Cameron. There are questions, and questions have been asked of Trotter Cameron about his dealing with the Chinese. That's not coming out now. They're at it. Warren Francis, thank you, Warren. Funny how the police say he might not have face damage and it could be a CCTV glitch. Blimey, Warren, the police actually said that. Now, I've looked at those photographs. That doesn't look like a CCTV glitch to me. What's the... Warren, if you can, what's the source for that? Because that looks like CCTV to me, not a glitched CCTV. Yeah, the knife attack at the Gare de Lyon station. Thank you, Terry. So rather than... I just think that the Westminster bubble think that we're thick because they seem to say anything they want. The press are part of it. The press, mainstream media, are all part of it because they just report nonsense. Thinking, like page 2 on most of the red tops, they believe that we're going to believe all that. No, we're not. We've had enough. That's why it's going to get to a point where we're becoming fatigued because we want them gone. I mean, I'll give you my take, and I've said this repeatedly over the last 6 months. People will stand in the ballot box and they won't know where to put their cross because they definitely won't put it next to the Tories. But are they going to put it next to Starmer? No, we don't trust him. Look at what happened to Jimmy Savile's file. File 13 in the bin, went across his desk. Nah, NFA. We can't trust him, and we can't trust Labour because of what they did when they had all of their time in power. Look what they did to the hospitals. Look what they did in selling our gold off cheaply. I mean, they're inept, but they're not inept when they're coming to putting money in their own trouser pocket. I'm telling you, you're not. I get it. People won't stand in the ballot box and go, well, who am I going to? Because everybody was either red or blue or a little bit of green or a little bit of yellow. And people knew what their allegiance was. But since 2016, poof, it's all up in the air. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some kind of hung parliament. And I'm sure that Rich Boy is trying to bank on that. He wants to stay Prime Minister as long as he can. And let's get to moral indignation. Because if you look back at the post office story, which is similar to all of the stories that are coming out, in as much as we want the right thing done, the collective, me and you. As I say, we're not stupid, but we want the right thing done. And it just seems that there's like rats scurrying about. They don't want to do the right thing. They don't want the light shining on them. So has your moral indignation died down about the post office? Yet. Thousands of victims. Thousands. People that were getting bonuses when they were charging people and getting them in jail. And the money that went missing that the postmasters and postmistresses had to put back into the system, that was subsumed into the profit margin for the post office. What has Fujitsu done? They appear to have kept their head down and no longer feel they have to do anything. They've just given some mealy-mouthed excuse. And they've done nothing. So that's what happens. Can you see how that the mainstream media will kind of chuck you, will run with the big story? And there's no bigger story than Russell Brand. And absolutely naff all's been done about Russell Brand. Nothing. Now, I don't know what the Rosses are doing. I don't know what the Thin Blue Line are doing. I get that he might not want to go to America soon, but that was such a massive story. It had arms and legs everywhere, if the pun wasn't intended. And yet, nothing's been done about it. If you can get through, Ed Davey, on me head, Davy. What's happened to him? He's the leader of a blooming political party. They're all, their derrieres put in like a rabbit's nose because they're scared they're going to lose seats and they're going to be obliterated in the general election. I mean, who's going to vote for the Lib Dems? Who? Who's going to vote for the Tories? Who? Who's going to vote for Keir Starmer? They're talking about reform now. And I guarantee you, it doesn't matter who you vote for, the government's going to get in. They're all as corrupt as each other. That's why they want to get into power. Corruption. But can we do anything? We tried that 1,000 years ago. We took to the streets and gave them a fright. They won't allow that again. Wat Tyler and the civil unrest. 1,000 years ago. The post office are in the crosshairs for this. But what are they doing? Nothing. They're trying to avoid being nailed. All of them. Because they've all had bonuses. Some have had millions in bonuses, millions in pay. They're not giving any of that back, are they? Forget the CBE. Let's have the money back. Let's put it into the pot for the man and woman on the street. That's what I would do. Because, as I keep mentioning, and hopefully, this is just my take on life after doing 40 years of speech radio and talking to the man and woman on the street about their stories, about their real life experiences. And politically, you can see through these idiots, all of them. Somebody with integrity as a politician is the exception, not the rule. And I would literally say to them, you thieving, scum-sucking pond life, you can Foxtrot Oscar and you can give us the money back because it'll go into a fund and the fund will look after the people that have paid into that fund pretty much most of their life. Now, I know that I've paid into that fund for nearly 50 years. I've paid national insurance for nearly 50 years. I've paid tax, some of it crippling, for nearly 50 years. What do? I won't get a bean. I won't get anything. I've got to wait until I'm keeling over near death's door before they'll go, oh, do you want your pension now? Yet somebody can come across on a boat and we'll get it chucked at them. Now, some people are saying, certainly in America, that they're just importing votes. You've got to get them registered. So what I would do, if I was in charge, I never will be, because they wouldn't, they'd never allow it. They just wouldn't. I would just take all the money. So you went in and you had £500,000. Or if you're Jacob Rees-Mogg, you've got 100 million in your family trust fund. So you've got 100 million, right? So when you leave, your pension, if you've served 2 terms, which is 8 to 10 years, you get the level of office as your pension. Excuse me, it must have been the beans. Can you not hear that car? Must be Andrew Tate, his Bugatti. So they can leave with their pension if they've done 2 terms, but I want to know what they've gone in with, because they don't come out with anything more than they went in with. So we can make sure there's no corruption. And expenses, they're all at it, man. They're all at it. So I just would not allow these idiots to get away with it. Call me Oliver Cromwell if you want. I'd make sure we'd sort the system out. Some of them going in, they're not even millionaires, and coming out multi-millionaires. How does that work? It's corrupt. So the post office, all of those that were getting bonuses, I would say to them, give us the bonus back. Oh, it paid for me extension. It paid for me cruises. That's fine. Give me the money back. But I haven't got it. Oh, well, you're going to jail then. If you can't pay your fine, you're going to jail. But I was just doing as I was told. Tough. You should have had some integrity. You should have told the post office, this person's wholly innocent. Because some of the investigating companies went to the post office and went, not sure about this. Doesn't stand up. Doesn't stack up. Oh, they nearly £100,000 gone missing, man. Yeah, but I think there's something wrong with the software. No. Nothing wrong with the software. Fujitsu have told us there's nothing wrong with the software. I wouldn't have them lined up to go to jail. I'd have some of them lined up and shot. They did that to some conscientious objectors in the two Great Wars. And these people, with impunity, are putting other people in jail and then saying they've nicked a load of money. Well, technically, the post office is guilty of fraud because they've taken money from their employees erroneously. And that has to be dealt with. So give us all your bonuses back. Give us all of the bonuses back. And that will go to the pensioners. That will go to the kids. It will go back into society that isn't corrupt, that's struggling at the moment. Utility bills? My hairy backside. As the Jacobite quite rightly says, the problem is everyone in positions think that they are never wrong because they went to university. Honestly, my brown stuff's more intelligent than these people. Because it doesn't take much to have integrity. Just do the right thing. That's having integrity. Ronald says, hi Adrian, on form again, fella. Every time I watch you, I find that I've been unsubscribed. Really, Ronald? Could you please do an episode about the collapse of Northern Rock and all the mortgage prisoners, please? Love to, Ronald. Just make sure, anybody that's watching tonight, please make sure that you are subscribed. I'm not quite sure what goes wrong, but something does. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. But also, if you're on X, Twitter, make sure that you're following me on X. It's at Adrian Allen. You'll be able to find me because I'm going to start posting a lot more on there. Stuff that I can't really get away with on YouTube. Never mind Rumble or TikTok. But X is going to be my go-to. Watching a very interesting argument between David Icke and Alex Jones and Elon Musk at the moment. I've interviewed David, and I'm going to try and get that interview. I won't be able to put it on here. So that's why I'm saying follow me on X. Because the stuff that I can't put on here, I'll put on X. And my final point on this post office is Master Bates said the compensation is derisory. And I completely agree with him. He's the guy that's been driving it. Why haven't they given him a life peerage? Because he deserves it. He's acted faultlessly and unceasingly on behalf of other people, some who took their lives. He acted on their behalf to the best of his ability, knowing that the system was corrupt. But you see, they're mealy-mouthed. They'll pay lip service to him, to others, to the victims, 3,500 victims or more. They'll just pay lip service until they can navigate their way out of it and go, like Ed Davey. Where's Ed Davey gone? On holiday, Ed? On me, Ed? Ed? Where's he gone? He's definitely got his tin hat on. He's definitely keeping his head down. But the Lib Dems, going to get squashed in the next general election. Namby-pamby pingo Liberals. Oh, I'll vote for them. Oh, right. So your Ed boy was, pun intended, was sitting there when they were jailing people from post offices around the country. And he did what exactly? I'm going to make one. I'll quickly run through some of these comments because I want to get to something that I believe has flown under the radar that you need to keep an eye on. I'm going to give you what's happened in Iraq and the reason for that happening in Iraq. There's good old Sniffy. Joe Biden putting marching powder on his cornflakes to get him going in the morning. So, This is around Katie Hopkins' video that I mentioned on the live on Wednesday. And Paulie H says, Adrian, the photo of Hopkins and Belfield can't be fake. Do you get out much, Paulie? Right said Fred's been and visited as well. Are they too sexy for that prison shirt? You can see the background drop on the floor. He had the same sports top on, so think you're wrong on that one, mate. Paulie. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'll ask you to do something for me, Paulie, because obviously I'm not very clever at all. I'm a mere simpleton. I want you to go and tell me why Katie Hopkins' hair was different from the video when she went in and come out and in that picture. Now, I'm not, as you can see, I don't put a lot of store by my hair, and I've never been a hairdresser, but please try and explain to me why the hair is different. Can you explain to me why she's wearing different clothes? I know, maybe both IQ points are not working in tandem for you. It might be in series, but not in tandem. So explain to me, Paulie, why she's wearing different clothes. Can you also explain to me why she's wearing different earrings? I mean, maybe Katie took a bag up. Wouldn't have allowed that in prison. Took a bag up, got changed, went in. Came out, got changed, went home. No, doesn't work like that in prison. And a vulnerable prisoner. Paulie, explain to me, why would the system say that young Belfield was vulnerable? I know. You don't. And Katie's video, all I'm going to say is this. It's what Katie is not saying that interests me. Try and manage the narrative as much as you want. I've got an excellent bullshit detector. And I would suggest to you, you don't take things at face value. And you keep asking yourself this question. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? All the donations that were meant for the suit against the BBC and Nottinghamshire Police. And then in the end, he said it wasn't worth it for 12 grand. Where's the money gone? Where's the money gone? So, Paulie, stay off the cooking sherry. Just answer me these 5 questions. Why is the hair different? Why is the clothes different? Why are the earrings different? Why would the system say that Alex Belfield is vulnerable? Why? Because that's why they moved him as a vulnerable prisoner. Why? Katie was trying to see him in Stockton for nearly 15 months and didn't get to. They wouldn't allow her. And then he gets moved and pretty soon she's in there. And I know what Katie's not saying. Because I've told you before, I'm not stupid all day. Don't. Nigel Green, I don't believe she walked from the train station to Five Wells. I live in Wellingborough and it's a hell of a walk. Or she might have grabbed a cab from the train station. But there is absolutely no proof that she was inside that prison. None. And the picture, photoshopped. So, why are you believing that she went into the prison? Taking her word for it? Where's the corroborative evidence? I would have taken a picture of my pass. I would have taken a picture of something. Letter, pass, agreement. Because that's what I do. If I say to you, I'm doing something, I give you corroborative evidence. I say I'm going to Davos. You'll see soon, because I've taken pictures and videos in Davos about Davos. So you can see corroborative evidence all of the time. Because that way, you can't be accused of anything. Chris Hazelhurst says, Adrian, I've only just found your programme and I'm hooked. So whatever you do, 1, 2, 3, and 5 are my choices. Oh, blimey. Hang on a second. That was... I knew you would throw that at me. Ah, there it is. So there was a poll. Thank you, Chris. There was a poll that we did the other day. It's had nearly 250 votes. I thank you for every single one of those. And I gave you a few options about what would you like to see more of. And it seems that conspiracy subjects, 47%, nearly half of all of the votes, was the number one. So I told you a little bit this evening. But you didn't know about the Catholic Church getting the Nazis out of Germany into South America, did you? No. But you didn't know about Hitler, Grey Wolf, getting out of Germany via Norway in a submarine into South America and living there to see his days out. No, because you were told by the mainstream press that the Russians found him in the bunker. Secondly, is deeper dives. You want deeper dives into single subjects, which I've taken on board. Definitely going to do that for you. Next is 19% phone-ins. You fancy a phone-in? Been doing them 35 years now. 1989 was my first one. Wonder if I can find the newspapers. Got sacked from that one. Fabulous. And I always like to break taboos, and I always like to break down barriers, because back in 1989, BT rang the radio station because literally what I was doing on the radio was making the phone lines melt. There were so many people trying to get on the radio, trying to call in. The producer through the glass couldn't handle it all. And BT was ringing going, what's going on? What's going on? We've got unusually high amount of phone calls coming into your radio station. And it's just Adrian. So we'll do phone-ins and interviews. Only 12%. I'm surprised. I thought interviews might be the number one. So deeper dives, conspiracy subjects, interviews and phone-ins, and poor videos. I mean, I'm sure if I did some of the conspiracy videos, Bohemian Grove and stuff like that, you would... What do you mean, Adrian? 1%. How would you pick on videos? Pop-Eyed Wazza says, phone-ins, yeah, wrong-uns. Dale Steele, evening, Dale. Now then, you're wrong-un. Chris Summer says, more about Kitty, please. You're wrongin'. If the law allows. To 147 Adam, obviously a snooker player. Less celebrity gossip. Taking that on board, Adam. To Tina Barwick, you just being you will do for me. Oh, Tina, you smooth talking bar steward. Napoleon blown apart, or is it Napoleon B23? Says, morning Vietnam. Oh, sorry. If only I'd come up with that catchphrase. More about deeper dives into subjects. Mrs. Blown Apart is more about the conspiracies. Fabulous. We'll get on the case. Cliff Wilson. Adrian, and this is a wonderful comment, Cliff. Thank you. There are already lots of channels talking about so-called conspiracies, but none, I would suggest, with your knowledge and insights, especially given your career. My recommendation, therefore, is not to focus on conspiracies and to use them sparingly and to focus more on deep dives and media deconstruction. Fabulous, Cliff. I've taken that on board. Absolutely. To control or delete all of them, please. Your wish, my command. To Amelia Grassi. Thank you, Amelia. Conspiracies and deeper dives, but honestly, I think all of the choices overlap anyway. To Mr. Lee Jones, conspiracy, truth, subjects, deeper dives into individual subjects also. Jip Atkinson, good to know that you're commenting, Jip. Deep dives and interviews. And Mad Matt UK says conspiracy theories and deep dives into individual subjects. Thank you for all of your comments. And yeah, we'll go for this. And then I want to tell you about what you need to keep an eye on in Iraq, because it's mind-blowing. Well, not really. We've been down this route with Russia and with China and with other major forces, but Iraqi Parliament. Oh, no wonder they stuck it up Joe Biden. Oh, did I say that out loud? Adrian, Chris Hazelhurst again. Adrian, I've only just found your program. I'm hooked. Love the program. Thank you, Manchester Mistress. John Legend, I think we're going to have to ignore the barristers. America could go into a civil war situation over this. They'll never regain my trust as they never had it in the first place. Good comment, John. Thank you very much. From Wednesday, just gone the live, 55. Sean O'Connor. Sighs. Apple have been using machine learning since before iOS 10. May I suggest you get a better source, Adrian? Sean, you seem like an interesting guy, quite intelligent guy. My email is joustingarena@gmail.com. Get in touch. I want to pick your brains. Andrew James. Adrian, we have no idea if Alex's parents are supportive or disowned him. No doubt that Alex is a damaged man and probably had a very unhappy childhood. Adrian has hinted this. Alex spoke more about his siblings, cousin, than his parents. I do tip my hat to AA tonight for not kicking Alex when he is down, despite promising videos of the dirt he has on him. AA was also stalked and harassed by Alex. I won't forgive Alex for his BS, and he fooled a lot of people into giving him money. My father believed Alex and gave a large chunk of cash to him. Alex receipts to lawyers and police were blank pieces of paper. A lot of nasty people and scum of the earth have gotten lighter sentences, which could need to be debated. I do now believe that Alex needs proper help in the right hospitals and not a prison. Good point. There was an autistic guy who had multiple profiles and was attacking people. He got 9 years. Was that this week or back end of the week before? Recently, in the last 10 days or so. So he went to court, was found guilty, was given 7 and a bit years, and then his mum left in tears, and he was sent down, and then the judge called him back and said, look, I've got the sentencing wrong. 9 years. So stalking and harassment, the laws are being applied. And I completely understand, and I agree that there needs to be some kind of debate, because there are people doing awful, awful, awful things that are getting out of jail quicker than, say, Alex Belfield or this autistic kid that was jailed within the last 10 days. I completely agree with you. But the judges can only apply the law. The judges sentence, but it's a jury of 12 or 10 in Alex's case, where they go guilty, 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 guilty on 4 counts, ends up doing 5.5 years. And please remember that 5.5 years has a lot of repercussions, because the tariff is over 5 years. It means he can't travel to certain countries. Won't be going to America ever again, the rest of his life. Australia, some of Europe, won't be able to travel. Prison can make or break someone. I don't think that Alex has been targeted, but he is in the company of very undesirable people and has probably seen a lot of violence. I worked with a guy who did time for violence, and he told me the worst thing in prison is hearing an inmate getting raped in the next cell. The screams echo in the wings, and by the time the guards are there, the act is over. He told me that prison rape jokes are not funny nor amusing either. AA has become the bigger man tonight. He must also have a good martial arts tutor that teaches self-healing and forgiveness. I am glad your wife is on the mend, Adrian. Thank you. Well, ninjutsu, all the weapons, open-handed technique. It's like all of the other martial arts wrapped into one, but it's also a lifetime's work. So the older you get, the less you're going to go ballistic with, your physical techniques. It's all about controlling emotion and healing. So I'll go to my box, practicing. I'm back from Davos video. Kate Webster says, Adrian Allen's Theatre of the Mind. Thanks, Adrian. Excellent handle, by the way. I've also descended a piece squealing like a girl, except I came down on my arse. Good one, Kate. I've seen a few of those. I've done it myself. The Sunderland Snowball. I may tell you the story one day. Andy Sinsky, did you get out to sunbathe much? No, Andy. I was looking after my very ill wife for most of it. Tracy Ann Cannon. Adrian, I was shocked to hear about Mrs. A. Glad to hear your wife was on the mend. Me too. It wasn't funny and it wasn't nice for her. I'm glad she's in much better fettle. John Honeyford again. Blimey, John, you're getting loads of mentions tonight. I saw a picture of Katie Hopkins sitting on Alex Belfield's lap in prison. Photoshopped. That hurt. Adrian, HMP 5 Wells looks nice as it's not old, but it's already had problems with weapons, violence. It's run by G4S, so expected. Trains run Nottingham to Wellingborough, sometimes change at Kettering, so it is possible to visit. I agree. G4S couldn't organise a open a brewery. Ask them about the 2012 Olympics. And I've seen some of the reportage on 5 Wells. From frying pan into the fire, I would suggest. And Katie Webster's also mentioned about Adi Blackmore. Oh my goodness, Adrian, he was my age. Condolences to his family and friends. Taken far too young, I agree. Miss Adi a lot. So, final point, because I've got lots more I could talk about, but we'll kind of run it down in the next 5 minutes or so. That hurt. God, can we just have a moment to think about Belfield's shirt collection? Oh, my eyes. That hurt. My eyes. Terry Wookfit and his poor dog, Doddy. So, the Iraqi parliament, you want to know what's going on. It's fairly easy to see if you're able to put the jigsaw pieces together. Now, the dollar is in trouble. It's in proper trouble. But Joe Biden standing for president in 2024 with Kamala Harris as VP so far. Joe Biden needs to put marching powder on his cornflakes to get up in the morning. Do you think he's going to be able to do another four years as president? Ask Barack Obama. You might think it's Joe Biden. His lips are moving. Who's talking in his ear? Barack? So there's been an attack on the Iraqis and the Syrians. I mean, they were desperate. Wow. According to Tower Block Tracy, Belfield's shirts were all designer, £1,000 a pop. You want to know where the money is? In the closet, same as Belfield. That's too funny. That's proper funny. Until the court case, of course. So you're probably thinking, hang on a second. So it was the Middle East and they were supporting Israel. And then, hang on, they're having a go at the Houthis. Who's the Houthis? Just make up a name. The Houthis. And then, hang on a second, why are they attacking Syria and Iraq? Because it was Iran that we're after. No. Iraq brassed the Americans off. Do you want to know why? Because the Iraqi parliament were calling to ditch the US dollar for oil trade. The Finance Committee in the Iraqi parliament made a statement on the 31st of January calling for the sale of oil in currencies other than the US dollar, aiming to counter US sanctions on the Iraqi banking system. Quoting, the US Treasury still uses the pretext of money laundering to impose sanctions on Iraqi banks. This requires a national stance to put to an end these arbitrary decisions, the statement said. Imposing sanctions on Iraqi banks undermines and obstructs central bank efforts to stabilise the dollar exchange rate and reduce the selling gap between official and parallel rates, it added. The Finance Committee affirmed its rejection of these practices due to their repercussions on the livelihoods of citizens and reiterated its call on the government and the Central Bank of Iraq to take quick measures against the dominance of the dollar by diversifying cash reserves from foreign currencies. This happened on the 31st of January. And when did America bomb Iraq? Tower 22. Within days. Within days of Iraq saying to America, up yours, Foxtrot Oscar, we're going to diversify into other fiat currencies. America's bricking it because it's bankrupt. And do you know who owns a lot of America's debt? Chinese Communist Party. So it's all there in plain sight if you know what you're looking for. That's why America's bombed Iraq, not because of the Houthis, not because of what's going on in Gaza, but because the Iraqis had the temerity to turn around and say, oh, we're not going to use the dollar, we're going to use other fiat currencies for our oil transactions. And there's the OCG Biden. They haven't opened Hunter's laptop yet, have they? it's corrupt on an epic scale in America. On an epic scale. But if you know what you're looking for, let me see if I can just recount this, because I've known about this for decades. So there is one organization, which I won't say at the moment, that want to own all of the central banks, because once you own all of the central banks, then you own people's money and you control people on an epic scale. So who are the central banks that this organization don't own or control? You're sitting comfortably. You might have to get a pen and paper. It's only 5, 6 of them. Venezuela, Hungary, Iran, China, Russia. Did I say Hungary? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one more. Off the top of my head. So, war against Russia. They want that central bank. Are they ever going to be able to get China's central bank? Well, China, their economy is in the dirt at the moment. So they might just offer the Americans, well, this particular organization. But Venezuela, just keep an eye on little Venezuela. Hungary? Wow. Austro-Hungarian central banks. And Iran. That's what they're after. Forget the Houthis and what's going on in Gaza. That's Israel wanting the gas and oil and the Ben Gurion Canal through into the Eastern Mediterranean. That's what that's all about. But just keep an eye on Iran. Because Iran's not done anything wrong. They're saying, oh, they're giving them money. They're giving them arms. They're giving them money. Who said? Where's the corroborative evidence? President Biden. Where's the corroborative evidence? Oh, so, we were flying a drone. We were flying a drone back into base, and, the terrorists must have been flying a drone at the same time, and they killed 3 American servicemen. Look, if we've got footage of planes crashing into the Twin Towers, where's the corroborative evidence? There isn't any. There's none. Where's the corroborative evidence that Osama bin Laden was shot and chucked over the side of a boat? There is none. It's hearsay. And if I don't appear again, Men in Black have turned up. Gareth Henshaw, yeah, banks of Vanguard and BlackRock. It's not actually Vanguard and BlackRock that want to control the central banks. It's bigger than that. Right at the top of the food chain. But just keep it in the back of your mind. When anything happens in the world, you go, oh, of course. Like Venezuela, it was kicking off about 18 months ago. Because of the oil, they've got a little bit of oil. Iran's got shed loads. I mean, when they went into Iraq, Iraq was running at 10% capacity. 10% of capacity. And that's why when America went into Iraq, they secured the oil fields first. Why would you secure the oil fields first? No, I know the answer. It's rhetorical. And why would the Brits and the French go into the Eastern Mediterranean and Gaza? America, Britain, France. 1, 2, 3. Don't get me on about Bibi Netanyahu. The Bovril nailed it. So that's another live 56, live 57, this coming Wednesday from 8 o'clock. We'll see if we can do deeper dives for you come Wednesday. Love doing these. Love giving you facts. Love giving you stuff that you might never have come across. But I know that you're a critical thinker. I know that you listen intently and you work it out yourself. That's the mark of someone that can never be controlled. Ever. Doesn't matter what they do. Neuralink. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Don't forget to make sure that you're subscribed, and don't forget to please follow me on X, formerly Twitter, so that I can get information to you doubly. Ian, you're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words. First show done. Really enjoyed it. Thanks. I shall be back. Oh, we've got so much more we can talk about. So much more. Let me just do this and make sure I can copy this before. Chili B, thank you. Always appreciated. Not going to give anything else away, but we are working on stuff behind the scenes. Like I say, my reading material will become content very soon. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you 8 o'clock Wednesday for a live and more videos in between.